Hello shooters. Today we're going to talk about target indicators. Target indicators are extremely important, whether you are someone that carries a firearm concealed, you have a concealed carry permit, or if you keep a firearm in the home for self-defense, or if it's a neighborhood defense type thing, you know, when the zombies come, or if you're in the military and you're doing operations around the world. Target indicators are extremely important. What's a target indicator? Target indicator is 10 characteristics that will either give our position away or our intention away, or it will give the enemy's position or intention away. So target indicators is a mindset issue. It's a mindset issue. Remember the combat triad: skills, mindset, tactics. This is a mindset issue, because we have to constantly be thinking, am I violating any of the target indicator characteristics? What am I doing that could possibly give my position or my intentions away to my enemy? We also have to be situationally aware, mindset. Situationally aware to pick up on the clues that the enemy's giving us that are violating the target indicator characteristics, so that he's giving away to us his position or his intentions. So target indicator is an extremely important topic. The very first target indicator we're going to talk about is shape. Nothing made by man resembles a shape that Mother Nature makes. Everything made by man, particularly with what we're talking about, is comprised of angles and lines and corners that we don't find in nature. And so we're going to talk about shapes. I'll show you some different shapes and how they violate the target indicator characteristic shapes, what we can do to mitigate that on our end, and what we hope the enemy doesn't do so that he gives away shape to us. Probably the prime example for target indicator shape is a military assault rifle. Anywhere around the world, everybody knows exactly what this shape is. They may not know that it's an AK or an AKM or whatever, but they know that this is a target indicator. Intuitively, they know this is a target indicator. And it's not just this whole thing either. Portions of this are a target indicator. Okay? Just this, the magazine, is a target indicator. There's nothing found like this shape in nature. There's nothing found like this shape in nature. This, or you know, an M4, an AR, an FN, whatever, these are target indicators. How do we mitigate this? Just to paint it. Yeah, color is a target indicator also, but just by painting it, it breaks up the shape, breaks up the outline. It's not quite the target indicator that this is. And I'll show some pictures of these out in the real world that show that just painting it mitigates the shape. Okay, some people think the only reason you paint a firearm is if you're going to be out in the woods or in the desert, but you can see by this here, the most common building material in most urban environments is cement. And even against a cement background, it's easy to see which one violates the shape characteristic of target indicators. So we paint our firearms for no matter what environment we're going to be in. It really doesn't matter the color either, because the color helps break up the shape. Notice that for shape you don't have to see the whole thing. I think most people would recognize what that is as a gun barrel. Here's the camouflaged rifle. Same spot against a white background, probably the toughest place to camouflage shape. But notice the color even makes the shape so it's not quite as distinguishable as the black. With the target indicator, the shape and the shape characteristic, it's not just our tools that will violate that or give that away or give the enemy's position away. Our head, the shape of our head. Everybody's got the same basic shape throughout the whole planet because of the way our eyes, our nose, our ears, cheeks, forehead, head. So that is a target indicator. When you're hunting bad guys and you see a head, you got to assume he's a bad guy. You don't shoot him until he gives his intentions away. But a face, a head is a target indicator. So there's some things we can do to mitigate that. One of the things we can do to mitigate that is the old-fashioned boonie hat. This can mitigate the shape because it breaks up the shape a little bit. You know, it has this brim thing on it, and you know, blah blah. A baseball hat doesn't break up the shape. The baseball hat retains the same basic shape, but the head just happens to have a bill. But a boonie hat can help somewhat break up the shape outline of the head and can mitigate the shape violation. There's another thing we can do in addition to this. Okay, this is just a mosquito net that has elastics in it, and it just goes on your boonie hat like this. And then you can actually pull this down and see, since you have this wide brim on your boonie hat, it's harder to see against this white background. But against a darker background, this does a pretty good job of just making your face into a blob. And you can still see through it pretty well, and doesn't impede your hearing at all. So this is something like this, and the Israelis have even gone a step further, and they even have a heavier net type stuff that they put over their helmets. So that's some things you can do just to disguise the shape. Here's another thing you can do. Okay, another thing we can do to disguise the shape of the face is to use camouflage face paint. And the object of camouflage face paint is not to make our face look like a tree. The object is to break up the shapes. We put light colors where it goes in. We put darker colors where it goes out. What that does actually brings the parts that poke out, it brings them back. The parts that stick in, it brings them out and kind of flattens the face out. So it disguises the shape. It doesn't look like a tree. It disguises the shape of the face. And then to complete that one step farther, once you put your net down, then pretty much it goes away. I know it's different on this white background. Don't forget to put camo on your ears and your neck. Okay, shooters, you don't have to just see the object for you to be violating the shape target indicator characteristic. If you have a poorly fitting holster or too tight of a cover garment when you're carrying concealed, you'll violate the shape characteristic. In the carry concealed world, we call that printing, but really it is a shape characteristic violation. And let me show you an example of that. Okay. Now, the biggest violators of this are those that carry appendix style, and you can see that this is a shape violation. Now, if you don't care about the shape violation, no big deal. I don't care about that. But you got to be thinking about it if you do care about making shape violations. There are holsters and garments, shirts or whatever, that do help conceal the handgun better than others for appendix carry. Appendix carry are the biggest violators, by far. Everywhere else you carry on your body, it's kind of hidden either by your arms or by other clothing, or just by where you put it on your body. So if you do carry appendix, you have to be really cognizant of violating the shape target indicator. Okay, shooters, always be cognizant, always be thinking, am I violating the shape characteristic of target indicators? Be situationally aware, so when your enemy does, you pick up on that. If these videos help you out, please help me out. Subscribe, like, share. If you have any questions, ask them below, ask them on my blog, on my Twitter, email. Helping you with your warrior triad is my passion. That's what I want to do. So thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Be safe.